Good evening, sir. Today, I, Jugal Jain, and my teammates Tanish Gupta and Smriti Verma are here to present you the final review for a J component of the subject CAC 2006 Microprocessor and its Interfacing. The topic of the project is Wearable to maintain social distancing. Uh, in this PPT, we would like to present to you the objective, the literature review, and the references, the hardware and software used, along with a display of the final outcome of the project that we have worked on. We would also like to discuss some societal impact that our project can have. The idea was to make a small arduino system that could detect any person within a radius of up to 7 feet. This would include a PIR motion sensor taking in the input from the environment. Further, this signal would be transmitted to our Arduino board. This would then be redirected to a certain kind of output. This could be anything like a LED light or a buzzer. This is just a type of notification that can be given to the person to notify him that another person is close to him. We could then check if the output of the sensor is low or high. For preventing any movement from the body wearing the device, we would set up only two sensors as mentioned earlier. This would allow us our own body movements like hand gestures, preventing any kind of trigger from the person wearing the device. In order to keep the device on the body at all times, we could come with a Bluetooth module that could keep the Arduino connected to the laptop. We also propose that the person can wear a belt so that the device stays close to him and in a least moving part of his body. The objective was to make a wearable that would help us maintain a safe distance between people if they have to step out of their house or the safe environment and thus minimize the risk of being infected by any communicable disease. These are some of the papers we reviewed and took inspiration from. The key point taken from the papers for our projects were wearable can be made to alert the user about social distancing breach. Passive infrared sensors can be used to detect movement of people around. We can use buzzers to inform the user about breach of the social distancing so that he can distance himself from the crowd. The methodology for the project is that the PIR motion sensor will be used to detect a moving object in front of the device. An ultrasonic sensor which detects an object within a specified range will also be used. Both these sensors combined can effectively detect when a person comes in close contact with us, that is less than 7 feet. The sound of a buzzer and the blinking LED will then alert the person wearing the device that another person has breached the safety limit and that he should move away. Additionally, we can include a temperature sensor so that the person wearing the device can also keep a check of their own temperature at all times.
So this is the basic circuit diagram we've drawn on Tinkercad for our project. So here we can see that we have a buzzer, an LED, and then we have a PIR sensor and an ultrasonic sensor all attached to an Arduino Uno board through a breadboard. So we can actually move on to the circuit diagram simulation on Tinkercad. So this is the simulation we performed on Tinkercad. So since we are doing the simulation part, we have to activate both the sensors individually. So first of all, placing an object in the range of the ultrasonic sensor, and then we'll be placing an object in the range of a PIR sensor. When we'll actually implement it in hardware, both the sensors will be placed parallelly, so we'll not have to get an object to come in their way individually because their range will be same. Here we have to actually push it both ways. So when the objects are in line for both the sensors, the buzzer glows, and this is how our project will work. So moving on to the hardware and software part. For the hardware, we are having buzzer, PIR sensor, Arduino Uno board, resistor, transistor, capacitor, and jumper wires. And for the software part, we are using Arduino IDE, and we have used Tinkercad for simulation. So now regarding the hardware part, we'll be showing you the individual work of the sensors and then the combined work. So this is the PIR sensors working. So we can see how PIR sensor is detecting an object when it comes in its way. Next up, we have the ultrasonic sensors working. So we can see the buzzer and the light both glowing when the ultrasonic sensor experiences an object. Now this is the temperature sensor. So We'll have a look at the Arduino IDE where we can see the temperature being updated by the sensor. Here we can see the temperature being updated constantly. So this shows that the temperature sensor is also working fine. So now finally, after integrating all the three sensors in a complete project, this is our final project. So we can see that whenever an object is coming in between, yes, we can see the buzzer buzzing and the light glowing whenever an object is coming in between. Along with that, we can also see the temperature being sensed. And so the project is working fine
Now
and
here
all the functionalities have been implemented.
Here we have the code of our project. So initially we'll be declaring the pins. Later we move on. We move on and set the buzzer mode to false so that when the conditions are satisfied later on, it changes to true and the buzzer alerts the user. Moving on, we have the code for the LED. Next, we have the setup function, which is our main function. Here, as you can see, we have the trigger pins and the echo pins and their codes here. Moving on, this is our loop function. Here, the ultrasonic sensors code is there. Here, it acts as a ray emitter. Along with that, here we check whether the motion inside the range is detected or not. Along with that, we have our if-else condition where we check if the alarm mode is on, and in that case, the LED should be blinking. Next, if the alarm is off, there will be no sound of the buzzer and the LED will be off. That is when the project will not be alerting the user. Moving on, we will be discussing the societal impact. So as we know, the world we live in today is inflicted with the deadly coronavirus. And now social distancing is the new normal. This project that we have made aims at promoting social distancing guidelines by the government for safety of each individual. This device will then reduce the transmission of the virus and eventually lead to a far safer environment. This will bolster the economy and the employment ratio as laborers and workers are restored with their jobs. The wearable is sure to promote the use of technology for a healthy and happy lifestyle. Coming to the conclusion of our project, whenever a moving object is brought near the sensors within the specified range, the buzzer goes on and the LED starts blinking. Also, the temperature sensor is constantly recording the temperature of its surroundings. And this will be helpful in order to take care of the social distancing and make sure that it is not breached even mistakenly. These are the references, the research papers that we have gone through and used to make our project. And thank you so much.